Well, how's it going? I know it's been a while since I said I was going to start posting regular videos on this channel, but unfortunately with my other channel that takes up a lot of my time in the summer with longer trips, and then I broke my camera at the end of my main trip, so I didn't have my camera for a month, so I didn't get to film all the food plot work that I did. But I put in 2 new food plots at the hunting property, and I did one with brassica around the 2nd week in August. I was a bit late to getting to that, but I had to clear everything to get to that. And then I did one later on with winter rye, and I actually did that in the last week of August because I was up there and I had the time to do it. My brassicas have been a little stunted, I'm not gonna lie. They didn't look too good. It's not really very good soil for them, and they didn't look too great last time I was there. Oh, that was the thing, because I ordered, so basically my winter rye plot, I had ordered plot start, and it didn't arrive in time, and I really had to get the brassicas in, so I just did it. I used liquid lime on that. I put down a 19 fertilizer, and got the brassicas in, and I put some pelletized lime down as well, actually, but the brassicas didn't grow. I know that the soil is very heavy clay, and I know that's not ideal for them, and it's the first year this food plot's been done, so I really wasn't expecting too much out of the brassicas. Obviously I didn't want it to fail, but I was kind of like, well, you know, there's a good chance it will fail. My winter rye food plot was originally going to be oats and peas and things like that, and I bought a mix of that from Domain Outdoors, and again didn't have the plot start, so I didn't plant that. I didn't plant the peas and the oats, and then I used the plot start on my 2nd plot in the last week of August, and then I threw down the winter rye and a bunch of urea as well, so that plot seems to be taking pretty good. I went back up there at 1st week in September, looked at my brassicas again. They still weren't doing too great, so I threw down a bunch of winter rye on top of them, just to try and save the plot, get something out of it, and I still had a bunch left over from the other food plot that I put in. And then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna throw down in my winter rye plot. I was like, I'm just gonna throw down the peas and the oats and the I think there's radishes in there and stuff. I'm just gonna throw down that mix because it's still warm enough. It was still warm up until like 2 days ago. It was 80 degrees. And we're in the last week of September now, in the last couple of days of September now, so I was like, you know what, it's fine. We're not looking at frost. Even now we're not looking at frost, at least for the next couple of weeks, or at least the next 10 days. The forecast doesn't say any frost, so that we're gonna see how they're going. And then last week when I was up there, last week I was up there, and the brassicas still didn't look good. But there was one spot where they seemed to be growing well, like one little patch where they were growing well, like they should be growing well. And when I examined it a bit closer, there was a deer turd in the middle of them, and they've been growing out of that, so that made me think like they're obviously not getting enough nutrients. So I went and grabbed some 10-10-10 fertilizer and threw that down just before it rained, and then we got hit with a heavy rain, so I hightailed it out of there. So basically today we're gonna go and see if that had any effect, and we're gonna do one last camera pull of the trail cameras and see how that goes. I have had the same little 6-point come in. He seems to be hitting my muck scrapes now, which is good. I mean, he's a smaller deer, but for a 2nd year bow hunter, like, I'd be happy with him. He's definitely an improvement on last year. And then I've seen on my other camera in the end of July, I saw some monster bucks, massive bucks, like one 10-point who was huge. And unfortunately I haven't seen them again, but they have a ton of ag around here, and they have, you know, backside of the property, on the backside of the hill. This property that I'm hunting is all on a hill, and it's only 25 acres. And literally on the back side of this property, there's a guy who owns like 250 acres, and it's a ton of it's just a wooded mountain, and then looks like he's got some food plots himself in the bottom, so they'd probably be less disturbed over there than they have been this year. But we'll see. We're gonna head up the hill and see if we can't pull these cameras and see what we get. So one thing I did order the other day, ready for this season, is a lapel mic, because I haven't got one of those, and I don't want to take this big fluffy microphone with me. Oh, actually no, I got two things. I got one of the camera arms, and I got a lapel mic, so that this time hopefully can get some better footage. Plan is also, I've been practicing when I've been shooting my bow, I've been practicing wearing the GoPro on my head, so we've got that as well. So hopefully we should get some better footage this year. But we're here now. We're gonna walk up and check on the food plot and see how she's looking. There's the first one. Let's see. There, the rye coming in. Oh. So you can see the brassica there, and then some rye coming in, but that brassica doesn't look good. It's starting to grow a little bit. So here you can actually see, right there where the deer have been coming down out here, coming straight down, come across through here and out into the food plot. It's not looking great. It's not looking too bad. You can see the stand that I put in right there. So let's hang on. There goes the deer. Well, I don't know if you saw that or not. So I don't know if the GoPro got that, but there was a deer spook just out of there. Couldn't see if it was a buck or a doe, but usually the bucks aren't down here. But we'll see. That's not a bad sign. That's bedded down by the food plot. Well, that's not good for my access, but still. So anyway. So obviously the view from the food plot, like I say, you can see where the deer have been coming down through there, and then they move along here and then back in here. So there's three trails that intersect and we'll go back there, but I've got a camera and a mock scrape set up on there, so we'll see. So the plan is, when I saw that fawn, she walked straight out of here, so the plan is I've got a couple shooting lanes for them to come through. That's what I'm hoping. All apples on the ground. Come down here. Follow this trail. Then we hit this little junction. As you can see, I got a trail that comes down here. Well, I guess I'm not pulling the memory cards today because it turns out I don't bring them with me, but I just walked all the way down to the truck, and that deer that I spooked, she was still down at the bottom. It's like she won't go anywhere. We had that problem last year. Like, I was able to get a buck, but then later on in the season when rifle opened, it was like, even when we had 4 guys here, we had one doe with a yearling fawn, and it was like she just wouldn't leave the property. No matter where we went, it was like she would just move around this same 25 acres, almost like it's like a safe space
away from other deer or something. It's weird. And she's doing the same thing then. It's like no matter what, she just won't go away. You know, I was probably stood 20 feet from her and she's just looking at me like unbothered. So I don't know if that's good or bad. But anyway, let's carry on. So we woke up from the one marked grape. And we go up here, come up this trail. You can see there's a trail down there, or you can come through into my winter rye food plot. The weeds are starting to take over a little bit. Which I don't want. But this is all winter rye. You can't tell if the deer have been eating it or not. Obviously this is the winter rye food plot that I threw down. And this is also where I threw the oats and radishes and stuff. You can see a little bit of that there. The big problem I've got with these food plots is because they were just brush basically, and I cleared them all, and then I had to get to planting because I was late to clearing it, so I didn't get to spray all the weeds. So there is weeds starting to come through, but actually I've got quite a bit of variety in them. I mean, right now all the native vegetation is still green, so it's hard to tell if things have been using them or not, but it looks like over there there's been some activity. It looks quite trampled down in spots, so that's good. There's a trail right through there where they've been coming in and out, which is good. You can see it's all trampled down here. Obviously that's the second food plot. And you can see up there we've got a stand, got a trail, comes through this gate here. There's also a trail right here that they've been using. So if they do, you can see out into the stand. You can see out along this way. They like to come over from the neighbour's field as well, come down this way sometimes. Well, nothing really to report on the memory cards, so there isn't really any point in pulling them, so who knows? There's deer here, but I haven't seen any bucks. But it's also warm, like you can see I need a haircut, but I'm sweating as well. So, gotta just wait, be patient. Hopefully there's a cold front. Last year when I got my deer, we had 2 days where it was nighttime, temperatures were down in the 30s. Yeah, right around 30 degrees. And I came out in the afternoon after that and they were moving, so that's all I gotta wait and see. Just be patient, right? Just be patient, more time on the couch. Anyway, I'll keep you, next time I see you, we'll be bow hunting. Alright, take it easy. Do you see her? That doe I was talking about she was right there. Then when I walked to get the memory card, I walked to try and find the memory cards, she was there. She's only gone to there. And she can see me. I mean, she's stood there right now. So I keep walking. Is that a rock or is that a deer? Oh no. Right there, there's a deer. There she goes. See what I mean? It's like, I don't know if there's a fawn somewhere or what, but Just won't leave me alone. There she goes. I can't tell if that's a good omen or a bad omen. I mean, hopefully if she's, you know, if they stick around here and they're ready by the time the rut comes, that's good. But if they're not ready to breed by the time the rut comes, then I don't know if that is good or not. Someone will have to tell me in the comments, I don't know. But they don't seem bothered by me being here, but then people are here almost every week doing stuff, so